What is up guys, and welcome to another Red Dead Online video. In today's video we are going to be talking about the future of Red Dead Online. On the 5th of February 2020 there was a post by Polygon and they managed to interview a few Rockstar employees, and in this post they talked about the latest Moonshine update and what's next to come to Red Dead Online. As always with videos like this, if you would like to see this post, I'll leave a link in the description down below and you can read through it whenever you want, but what I'm going to be doing in this video is going through the key information. So the first part of this report is talking about the Moonshine role, and for me I'm not too interested in that because as I have been playing this for quite some time, and I'm sure that you guys, if you have been sticking around and you have been playing the Moonshine role, you know exactly what it involves, so it's pointless going over stuff that we already know. What I'm more interested about is what's coming next. So if you scroll down to the bottom, maybe even halfway, there is a bit of talk about the future for Red Dead. So the first part is that we get a comment from Tarek Hamad, who is an associate online producer at Rockstar, and he said there are a lot of additional roles we would like to introduce which will touch on features we haven't explored yet in Red Dead Online. We are still very much in the formative stages of delivering an array of roles and gameplay types within those roles, and this is something that we all expected. The roles have been a massive success ever since the summer update, and then we got the addition of the Moonshine role, and even though that brought a ton of bugs, the role itself is still fun to play if you do not encounter any of the problems. So we knew that this was the route that Rockstar were going to take with Red Dead, and then we're going to bring an abundance of different roles. We also know that there will be additions to the roles that we already have, and what I mean by that is that we have the trader role, and then we have the Moonshine role, which is a tier 2 to the trader role. You must go through the trader role, you must either get to rank 5 as a trader, or you must do at least one cell delivery, and as soon as you've done that, you will unlock the Moonshine role. Yes, you still need to pay into it, and yes, it is slightly more expensive than the normal tier 1 roles, but it is an addition to the previous roles. So that led people to believe that there will be other additions to the collector and even a bounty hunter. Going off what I've just said, there is also a quote here, which is the next bit down, and this comes from Katie Picker, who is a lead online production associate at Rockstar, and she says, in addition, previously introduced roles are still going to get upgrades and love from the devs. We'd love to keep adding new collections and additional variety to collect the gameplay, eventually adding the next step, much in the same way that the Moonshiner is the evolution of the trader. One idea we really want to explore is the idea of a posse member each finding a distinctly different part of an item that when brought together from the collectible you can log in your collection. So this links all the way back to the VG247 interview that was done all the way back in September 27, 2019, as soon as we got our first set of roles coming out, which is the trader, the collector, and the bounty hunter. And in this interview they did say that they're going to carry on adding stuff to previous roles even once they're adding new roles in the future. And here they give information about what we could very get as a collector role, and this sounds very exciting. For you to be part of a posse, and say for example you're in a 4-man posse which also includes yourself, there could be 4 different parts of this collectible and you have to go to 4 separate locations in the map. As soon as each one of those members have that collectible, you then meet up, you come together, you put it together, and then bang, you jot it down in your journal and then even sell it on for a decent amount of money, and then you can split that between the 4 of you. And this sounds absolutely awesome to me, especially the fact that we know, considering we've done also research on this channel where I've set out questions for you guys, set out polls for you guys, we now know that out of the collector, the bounty hunter, the trader, and also the Moonshine role, the roles that we have so far, the collector role is the most popular role out of all of them. So it's nice to see that the collector role is the first one out of all of these roles that will be getting additional updates. I know something that a lot of players are wanting from the collector role is a little bit more action within it. At the minute you go to a location, you pick up collectible, you go to the very next location, pick up another collectible, and you just keep on doing that non-stop. With this idea that Katie Picker is talking about, where you have to go to a number of different locations as a posse to get these objects to bring them together, I hope that there's a little bit more action involved, more of an Indiana Jones type role, where you have to go to a location, you have to take out the enemies, you have to then find a collectible. As soon as you find a collectible, it's now a dramatic chase up until the point where all 4 of your posse members meet together to put the collectible together. I think that is something that a lot of fans would want, so let me know in the comment section if there's something along the lines that you want with what they're talking about within this interview, as well as the stuff that I've mentioned. And then the final thing they talk about in this interview is that there's a lot more for property owners within the future, and it comes from a comment from Tarek Hamad, and it says some of the roles would let us introduce more feature-rich businesses and eventually communal spaces that players can gather and meet up socially, maybe even let each other own a part of such a space. Now with this, there's not as much detail as what they talked about the collector gameplay of how they would like a specific feature within the future, but this gives little hints about more properties coming, which we did expect, but gives us an insight of how those properties are going to be laid out. So the first part of communal spaces that players can gather and meet up socially, lone wolves and full posses, to me that already exists. With the Moonshine role, we also was able to buy the Moonshine Shack, and with the Moonshine Shack you was able to get a bar expansion and also a band expansion. With that you can play through the Moonshine role and you can go down to your bar and you can interact, you can change the decor, and you could do that all by yourself. And on top of that you can also invite your posse members or people from the lobby and they can come down to your shack and you can get drunk together and you can also play the musical instruments. So to me the lone wolf and also the full posses are now already part of it. But the next bit where it says maybe even let each player own a part of such a space makes me think that as a posse you can own a certain part of land, and within that land you're all working together but you all have separate jobs to do and you all have separate roles. And then this would link to what a lot of people were asking for before the roles were even announced, was that people wanted to have their own camp and they all wanted to have their own roles where you can have a number of different things going on and you can be your very own outlaw. Now with this, that is all speculation. We'll have to wait and see what they mean about this, what the properties are going to be like within the future, but this is looking very good for Red Dead. Now before all of these updates come out, and these could be the very next update or they could be a couple updates within the future, I do hope that the problems within the game do get fixed. Now it does look like Rockstar are acknowledging the problems. They have said that they do know that there is an animal spawn problem and they are working on a fix, so hopefully that could be done before the very next update. But other than that, I am extremely excited for the future, especially if it's going off what they've said in this interview. But as always, let me know in the comment section down below. I've given my opinion, I've also shared what went into this interview. Now it's about your guys' opinions. Is this the direction you want Red Dead Online to go to, or did you imagine it something different? Let me know in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going. So see ya.